super excited to see all the movement. One other guy who is actually a free agent technically is Dak Prescott. So obviously he had that injury after playing 5 games this week, but he was on his way to having a monster year, JJ. He was actually the quarterback 1 in points per game. And in those 5 games played, he still finished the season as the quarterback 31. So that just kind of shows the tear that he was on in that Kellen Moore offense, Ty, like you said. So JJ, do you think he's back in Dallas next year? And if so, do you see him closer to kind of that top tier of top 12 quarterbacks, or do you think he's more towards that back end?
I think that he will be back, yes, and I think that he will be closer to the top than the bottom. I mean, it's really, really hard to bet against those weapons that they have there. I mean, it's arguably the best trio of wide receivers you can find across the league. And the crazy thing about Dak Prescott and what he did, obviously volume was on his side this year. Not only did the defense suck, so they were in negative game scripts, but that's the way this offense is operated with Kellen Moore, which is, I mean, we love it from a fantasy perspective, right? And then, Dak can do stuff with his legs and, he'll score some rushing touchdowns. He had 3 in 5 games this year. But the one crazy thing about Dak's season, I know it was cut short, so we have a small sample size. He had the lowest touchdown rate of his career this year. So he hypothetically could have been more efficient throwing the ball than he was. And so that just makes it even more intriguing moving forward. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be in on Dak next year.
Yeah, I like that. I'm with you that he's probably towards the top there. I actually am just looking at my rankings right now, and I have him as the dynasty quarterback 8. But I could see him moving up ahead of Russell Wilson and really competing with the rest of those guys, because like we've talked about on most of this episode, like that's a big group of guys that we're all happy to have them as the quarterback 1 on our teams. And I think one big thing, we talked about Dable coming back for Josh Allen. I think Kellen Moore not getting a head coaching job is really good for Dak Prescott, because I don't really want to see Mike McCarthy take over that offense. And Ty, you know what? I'm just going to call it for you. Kellen Moore 2022. JJ, we've been calling this since what? Was it 2020, Ty, where you were calling Kellen Moore, get this guy a head coaching job and get him in Dallas?
I just think these are the guys. Yeah, Joe Brady. Like these are the guys that should be getting some of these head coaching jobs, because I number one, it goes down that rabbit hole of having a defensive guy, and then you put all the pressure on your offensive coordinator. If he's good, you lose him. If he's bad, you fire him. Like there's so many reasons that I would just give this my head coaching job. And I know there's a leader of men aspect to that conversation, but yeah, I think they're trendsetters, right? Like they're trying to stay ahead of the trends that the NFL defenses are setting. And it's clearly working. Let's put it that way. And, I know this is a quarterback conversation, but buy Amari Cooper, buy Michael Gallup, buy CeeDee Lamb, especially with that touchdown tidbit from JJ. I think CeeDee Lamb hopefully carves out a bigger niche in that area of the field. Next year, I wouldn't surprise me if he has like a dozen targets inside the 10-yard line next year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was an interesting red zone target distribution this year with Dak in there, and hopefully it continues to move into CD's favor, because I love that.